Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Entirely English and our continuing exploration of British insults and put-downs. We have done 3 previous videos on the Reddit discussion about British insults and put-downs, and today we're going to look at the Quora discussion. This one is not so long, or doesn't seem to be. Glancing at the page, there's lots of repetitions from things we've seen, lots of nonsensical comments, and lots of things which are totally irrelevant to the subject. So I think we should get all of this on this one video, and then I'll end it with some that have been missed out completely. All right, so I hope you're ready for this. If you're studying English, then this could be very interesting for you as an exploration of the strange way we insult each other. So let's get into it now. Okay, so here we are with our Quora discussion. As we can see from the first one here, we have several we've seen before. So let's look at the ones we haven't looked at previously. I'm not saying you're stupid, but you have bad luck when it comes to thinking. That's nice, self-explanatory. You're about as bright as a black hole, so not bright at all. You're not the brightest crayon in the box. For those who don't know, crayons are kind of little coloring sticks made of wax. Bright would be yellow, maybe you're black, so not the most intelligent person around. You're a proper numpty. We had numpty before. Your face would make a train take a dirt road. Either ugly or unattractive at this point. Your face would make the train swerve off the tracks and go across country. You have the personality of a wet sock. You have the personality of can be used with many things, just like our absolute and total. You have the personality of a wet sock. You have the personality of a dead dog. You have the personality of a rotten tree. Anything like that, anything that's unpleasant, you have the personality of. I said lots of irrelevant stuff on here. Sing us the song you sang at your mammy's wedding is a good one from Scotland. In other words, you're a bastard. You were born out of wedlock. So you were at the wedding of your mother. This next one, your face looks like someone set fire to it and put it out with a shovel. It's a very nice one. It's not only burned, but somebody smacked you in the face with a shovel. So perhaps like you've got a face like a bulldog or burned bulldogs. You couldn't fight sleep. In other words, you're weak. You couldn't even fight sleep. To describe the French surrender monkeys, actually the whole phrase is cheese-eating surrender monkeys. It's unfair on the French. Just because they surrendered to the Germans in the First and Second World War, they still fought. But it's this old kind of conflict between the British and the French, which shouldn't exist anymore, but some people propagate it, keep it going. You have a mind like an unfurnished room. Unfurnished means no furniture, so unfurnished room is your brain is empty. When he was circumcised, they threw away the wrong bit. In other words, you're just the foreskin.
To be fair, I've never seen a face with a foreskin before.
This sounds like a quotation from Oscar Wilde or Churchill. He is a very modest man. Indeed, he has much to be modest about. So, in other words, he's got no reason to have an ego. Your brain cell must be lonely. You have one brain cell in your head. How stupid is this person? If he had a brain, he would be dangerous. It's a very common one. We use that quite a lot. But ourselves as well. You do something wrong, you go, oh my God, if I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. Very common. Act your age, not your shoe size. Actually, this is This is British because it links to our shoe sizes. I think the Americans have similar shoe sizes, but for some reason, different numbers. With European shoe sizes, 43, etc., it doesn't really work. But, if you take a size 9 shoe or a size 10 shoe, that person is saying you're acting like a child. Actual age, 43, not your shoe size 10. Try using your brain to think with instead of as a motor to drive your gob. Your gob is a slang term for your mouth. So they're saying you don't think before you speak. You are an ill-conditioned, ditch-delivered whoreson. Never heard it before. Might have appeared in one film or something this person has watched. It's quite a good attack on somebody. Ill-conditioned, like badly bred. Ditch-delivered, you were given birth to in a field or the edge of a field. Whoreson, son of a whore. He's a lighthouse. The lights are on, but no one's home. We've had the lights are on, but no one's home. Nothing to do with lighthouse. Strange addition to it. He's had a personality bypass. That's a good one. Like, he has no personality. If a dog were as sick as him, they'd shoot it. Now, this would not be referring to health, normally. This would be referring to their personality, a sick personality. Like anybody who bows down to Putin. They are sick. You, sir, are what Dr. Spooner would have referred to as a shining wit. Dr. Spooner created Spoonerisms, which is when we take the first letters of two words and switch them around. So, a hack bowl would be a black hole. Therefore, shining wit, to work it out, it's not the first letter so much as the first sound. Sh. If wit was shit, you would be constipated. You have no wit. It doesn't come out of you. If brains were dynamite, you wouldn't have enough to blow your nose. Also heard to blow your hat off. So not enough dynamite, not enough brains to do anything. Oh, here's some nice ones. You're really quite clever, aren't you? This is sarcasm. We're saying the opposite of what is true. Somebody has spent an hour putting the oil in the car through the dipstick hole instead of through the filler thing. You're really quite clever, aren't you? Or they say something positive about Donald Trump. You're really quite clever, aren't you? What you've done here is curious. Again, this could be directed at the person filling the car through the wrong hole, or to somebody's argument. Like they're explaining why stopping all immigration is a sensible thing. What you've done here, or what you've done there, is curious. I'm really quite curious. And it just means it makes no sense. But I'll listen. That is very brave of you. Again, could be something you do or some statement you've made. Like, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. Well, that's very brave of you. In other words, the consequences of your action could be a disaster. There's a nice one. Oh, well, I'm sure you did your best. It's a put down. In other words, what you've done is useless. Crap. Lovely old English one. You're a frightful bore, old bean. You're a frightful bore. You're boring me. An old bean, just a phrase like mate or pal, but more polite, more gentrified. Oh, that might be a subject we come on to in the future. American and British words. There's a good one. How nice and fascinating. Similar to the ones we've had previously. Just saying, that's stupid. That is ridiculous. Again, I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. Oh, how nice. Fascinating. That's really stupid. So there's going to be lots of cuts in this video, and it's going to be jumping around because there's so much irrelevant stuff on this page. I don't know why. Okay, we've got some nice ones here. You're so mercifully free from the ravages of intelligence. So you don't have to worry because you've got nothing to think about. Smooth brain. Ideas just slide off you, don't they? Smooth brain. the structure of a brain, all those crinkles and ridges are part of the makeup of an intelligent brain. So smooth, nothing going on in there. Oh, this is disgusting. Your poor mother must have been desperate to fish you out of the abortion bucket. Okay, less said about that, the better. Oh, right. I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. So I don't care about you. I don't like you. You're a waste of space. If you're on fire, good. So a couple there we had before, and then keep talking. You can fit the other foot in if you lean sideways a bit. The whole lean sideways a bit is an unusual addition to the phrase, but keep talking or keep doing something and you can fit the other foot in your mouth. So to put your foot in your mouth is to say something wrong, inappropriate. Okay, and single words here. Twat we've had before. Twerp is another word. Oh, let's pause there and have a quick search. All right, just did a quick Google there. Not a lot of help. No origins. Again, people guessing the etymology of it. But twerp basically means an idiot or somebody who's, well, it says in the dictionary definitions they're inconsequential. But really, it just means an idiot, fool. All right, and as I said, the Quora is quite short. So we finished with that. There are a couple of other pages I wanted to look at. So here we have Anglotopia. The author of this page is Jonathan. We have some here which we've had before. It's a couple of new ones, like lost the plot. We'll say somebody has lost the plot if they've gone crazy or if they just don't know what they're doing. Same as lost their grip. He's lost his grip on reality. He's lost the plot. Dave, you've lost the plot. I'm completely mental. Well, we call people mental as well. Mental. Barmy is another word for stupid or crazy. Barmy. Chav, you may have heard this. Originally was directed at girls from the Essex area. Chav. And yeah, as it says here, white trash, low class. Those people who are orange, terribly strong makeup, lots of silicone, that sort of thing, and as stupid as two short planks.
I've never known so much drama in Essex all my life. We're in Portugal, hon. Oh, yeah.
Chav. All those jokes that used to be about blondes are now made about chavs. Like, how do you drown a chav? Put a mirror at the bottom of a swimming pool. Dodgy. We can describe anything as dodgy. It means, here it's talking about a person, a dodgy person is somebody shady, they say, who you think is dishonest. Say that's a dodgy proposal. That business plan sounds risky. So you say he's dodgy. Don't trust him. Gormless, complete lack of common sense. Yeah, gormless to, oh, well. Apparently, gorm comes from an Old Norse word, gorm, for attention. So literally, if somebody is gormless, they lack attention. We use it just to mean an idiot, somebody who is not crazy, just manky, disgusting. He describes somebody as manky. If you think about curtains in an old building where they've got mildew and they're damp, you describe those as manky. So describing somebody as manky, a manky character, is saying they're gross. Minga, quite a modern word, very unattractive woman. The essence of the word is this idea of smell, and a bit like those moldy curtains in the old empty building. You describe a woman as a minga, and it's like, wouldn't want to go close to her. Naff is a word for, it's tacky. Say, this watch that I bought is naff, it's useless. So if you describe a person as naff or what they said as naff, it is pathetic, it's ridiculous, it's useless. Nutter, crazy. Pikey, that's a word for a type of gypsy or modern day travellers. The sort of people who, they park their caravans at the side of the road and when they drive off, there's lots of rubbish left and the wheels are missing from your car. Scrubber. Can't remember if we had this one before. It's a bit like a slag. Oh, they are. Nice way to say slag. Again, a woman who sleeps around. Trollop. It's very similar. lady of questionable morals. Uphill gardener, there are several for gays. Uphill gardener, shirt lifter, shit shoveler. Another way of saying homosexual. Sorry, not gay. Twit, probably had before, idiot. Okay, some of these are not insults so much as statements, like you call somebody a skyvit, somebody who avoids their job or school. Ninny, brilliant but inferior. It's just an idiot. Possibly an origin or a derivative of nincompoop, which we had previously. Dead from the neck up. So they're animated, but nothing above the neck works. Not batting on a full wicket. Eccentric person, a little crazy or odd. Bit like we had before dingbat. But we also have the phrase going back to the gay heterosexual phrases, batting for the other side. You say, oh, he's batting for the other side. It refers to cricket, but the other team. So you say he's batting for the other side, he's gay. So we'll just look at this one more page. These aren't common insults, but there are some wonderful ones from history. And these are taken from the Gentleman's Journal. Sarah Bernhardt, do you mind if I smoke? Oscar Wilde, I don't mind if you burn. Benjamin Disraeli on William Gladstone, he is not a single redeeming defect. Winston Churchill on Clement Attlee, a modest man who has much to be modest about. I knew it was one of those guys. Bessie Braddock, Winston, you are drunk. Churchill, Bessie, my dear, you are ugly, but tomorrow I shall be sober. Lady Astor, Winston, if you were my husband, I would poison your coffee. Churchill, Nancy, if you were my wife, I would drink it. Churchill, after being disturbed while on the loo by the Lord Privy Seal, tell him I can only deal with one shit at a time. Squire, if I had a son who was an idiot, by Jove, I'd make him a parson. Reverend Sidney Smith, very probably, but I see your father was of a different mind. You're not a parson, but you are an idiot. The 4th Earl of Sandwich, Sir, I do not know whether you will die on the gallows or of the pox. John Wilkes, that depends, my lord, on whether I embrace your lordship's principles or your mistress. Sir Thomas Beecham to a cellist, Madam, you have between your legs an instrument capable of giving pleasure to thousands, and all you can do is scratch it. Cello player. But also, yeah, get it. So that's the end of our webpage reviews. Just want to add a few more here that have been missed. Drat is an English word meaning like damn, blast, and we can use it as a dratted. He's a dratted fool, so it's an adjective. You dratted idiot, why did you say that? Similarly, blast, blasted. He's a blasted idiot. Again, it's one of those adjectives like total, absolute, so you say he's a blasted cabbage. Now, tripe. Tripe literally is cow's or sheep's stomach, I'm not sure which. It was a very popular dish in the north. Like many of these popular dishes, it goes back to a time when people were starving and they would eat, and they had to be inventive with things, what was left over. So tripe became a popular dish at a time of starvation in the north of England. But it is horrible. And when we call something tripe, we are saying it's rubbish or it's gross. Professor McGonagall uses it very well in The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Professor McGonagall poked a large spoon into the nearest tureen. Tripe, Sybil!
Just as we had twaddle in one of the previous videos, there is also tosh. That's absolute tosh, means absolute rubbish, garbage, trash. You're talking tosh, old man. You don't half talk a lot of tosh, Donald. Bloody, of course. Bloody. And again, as an adjective, he's a bloody fool. He's a bloody idiot. What the bloody hell do you think you're doing?
What the bloody hell was that all about?
And one which I am so surprised they missed is tit. You absolute tit. And to describe a task, well, you made a tit of that. Tit is an idiot, a fool. When you make a tit of something, you screwed it up, you messed it up. Likewise, Again, for some reason it was missing on all of these. Dick. You call somebody a dick. You complete dick. You prick. You plonker. It's all the same thing. One of those pages we just had, we had you couldn't fight sleep. A common one is you couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag, meaning you're weak and pathetic. You couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag. Paper is very weak, you know. And a wet paper bag, you know, your shopping, your groceries will fall out of a wet paper bag because it is so flimsy. And if you can't fight your way out of a wet paper bag, how weak are you? And the last one I want to add here is one of my favorites. When you want to tell somebody to go away or that they're being a fool, you say, why don't you take a long walk off a short pier? Picture of a pier there, if you're not sure what it is. It's kind of like a sort of bridge that goes halfway out to sea. Why don't you take a long walk off a short pier, or go and take a long walk off a short pier? None of those things were directed at you, must say. One thing we should note here is these are verbal. Our subscriber Stuart, hi Stu, made the mistake of using one of these in a written comment, and it doesn't work. It's more insulting than a written thing. It's like many situations when you speak to somebody, our facial expressions, our intonations, they change the impact of what you say. So if you say, hey, come over here, you dopey pillock, that's jokey, it's friendly. If you say, hey, dopey pillock, come here, it's an aggressive thing. So the intonation can change the impact of these phrases. When it's written, we don't have that intonation, and generally it's taken as an assault on our person. So don't use these in writing unless you know somebody very well and you've used these phrases many times, maybe like a nickname. Okay? So I'm not sure what we're going to do next. I'd appreciate some suggestions in the comments. I do have a couple of ideas of what I'm going to do, but your feedback is always welcome. Thanks for following this series. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was informative. Again, if you're studying English, I hope this opened your eyes a bit to our nature. If you want to study English, do check the details below. My contact details are there for booking lessons. In the meantime, please do remember to like this video if you've enjoyed it. If you want to stay up to date with what's coming next, click subscribe. If you know somebody who would appreciate these, understand them, or needs them, click share. And do come back for the next one. Stay well. Hope you're all having a great week. Bye-bye for now.